ya 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 oh me ya 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 oh me ya hey ya 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 hey ya ya oh me ya ya hey ya ya oh hey ya ya hey ya ya hey ya oh me ya 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 hey ya ya hey ya ya oh hey ya ya hey ya ya oh hey ya ya hey ya ya hey ya ya oh me ya oh me ya oh hey hey ya hey ya oh me ya oh hey ya me ya oh hey ya me ya oh hey ya me ya ya hey ya oh me ya oh me ya hey hey ya hey me ya ya oh me ya ya me ya ya oh hey ya me ya ya oh me ya ya me ya oh me ya oh me ya hey me ya hey oh today is content day ya oh hey ya oh me ya hey ya oh him Alicia, using the bejeweled phone to anchor the real identity, and you had to be joining her through acknowledgement, reinforcing. Am I actually banging this thing here? Like scratching them and ruining them? Right. Are they oxidating? Right, we are oxidating. Minoxidil. We are growing a beard. We're growing in every way, in every way, in every way. We are growing. It is easy. And you had to be joining her through acknowledgement. Yes, I am a. Yes, I am an intervention specialist. Yes, I can do these interventions according to the method and techniques of Tony Robbins, reinforcing what he wants her to express: gentleness, genuineness, and femininity. Deep fear of loving a man that does love her. This is usually one of those complex situations within psychology technique. Summarizing her dilemma by verbalizing her thoughts. Evidence procedure. How would you know if you hit that stage? Breaking the emotion and focus of the moment by using the camera tripod in order to break the pattern and change her state. He did that very well. He figured out that talking to her, that talking to her and summarizing her dilemma, verbalizing her thoughts and behaviors gets results in this intervention. So he continues to utilize this technique. Let's look at our choices. Is that fair? Using what she really wants. Love as leverage. I hate to see you miss out on that part of life because this is who you are. At no time in this discussion have you lit up in the way that you lit up when you talked about your niece. It is pretty evil and unjust to string somebody along when you know it's not them. Easy learning Beverly. It doesn't require tremendous willpower or nerves of steel. He, how are you? She said, I am here. He takes that and immediately goes into why she said this. Because I am terrified. And then goes directly into physiology and then what she does to feel terrified. 3 pillars to weight loss. Number 1, focus towards what you want to experience in life, not what you are experiencing. 2, tools and strategies. 3, resolve inner conflicts. Food is a substitute for other things she wants in her life. You can get love and connection through giving love to others or by feeling self-pity. Feeling certain by deciding to believe in oneself or by never leaving the house again. Whenever I'm encountering and changing a behavior pattern, I find out which human need it is meeting. The top need is the single biggest factor that controls a life or an identity. What emotions do I engage in? What actions do I do? Why haven't you changed up until now? Question mark. She, it is safe and it is certain. He, terrified, is safe and certain. Delineating safe from certain. She said it is not safe, but it is certain. He, what if you never did anything? To elicit the consequence of never doing anything. These are the consequences, exactly. Deep belief that comes from your blueprint. I need to at least do something and eat at least because never doing anything would mean death. Do you see meditation as doing? She, it depends. Sometimes it is doing something, sometimes it's not. He, when do you enjoy it? When it is something, when it is doing something or not? Think about your favorite food and how much your favorite food is still in you. And how much of your favorite food is still in you. Leverage. How will loved ones suffer when health gets worse? Where will things be 20 years from now if she stays at this level of health? Will she be able to see her grandchildren? Will she have the life to truly enjoy her family? I stimulate courage and other emotions that have been proven to work in the past to create resourceful states. This is interrupting the limiting pattern. Isn't it funny how the real us rarely comes out? It is all conditioning. The real you is designed by something bigger than you. Key lesson. She is joy and courage, not joy and terror, making the delineation between her identity. Food has never given you joy. That's why you have been sad. You thought it was joy, but it was just comfort. You thought it was security, but it was something that felt bad. It was trying to steal your joy. It was trying to murder your joy. It was trying to murder that little girl that was trying to suffocate her. It was trying to gag her. It was trying to strangle her with fat. Would you strangle a little girl like that, a courageous little girl? You were being a failure at being a good girl. So why not being what your nature is? What are you reading? You have been joyful the whole time, but back then, I know I don't want to hear the whole story. I just want to hear the essence. Why would they like you if you were joyful? Question mark. What did you cause joy? What did your joy cause them to feel? I'm getting joy by seeing the real you. I see it in your eyes. That is the part that you couldn't hide. Jessica. The pattern that he saw in her was punishing her husband and needing the love from children in order to be fulfilled, delineating physiology from psychology. What do you want more than health? Values conflict. She wants health, but she wants comfort above all else, feeling the comfort by giving to others and wanting to get the love back. Who have you been trying to help and not gotten the love you want from? People have the pattern of getting sad at showing how hurt they are because this was rewarded with love. So why would you stop being sad when you were happy they are running to their father? That's as bad as you get. This is why you like me calling him something, because you won't say it. People like when other people speak their thoughts as a surrogate outlet. Surrogate is a great word. As a surrogate outlet, exactly. Vocabulary, like jewelry, the words that irrefutably make me succeed. Man, I really should get those blue light glasses, and some glasses. Oh, yeah, some blue light glasses, Yahweh, may, hey. Hey, Hey, home, you can't come back to everybody in time. It is fine, it is fine, it is fine. The Winner Lifestyle 4 videos published. It is fine. Let's look at our dashboard. Wir dreschen hier den Content rein. It is so easy. Home, ja, hey, home, ja, hey, home. Hey, ja, hey, hey, ja, ja, home, ja, ja, hey, hey, ja, ja, home, ja, ja, hey, ja, ja, hey, hey, ja, home, ja, hey, ja, home, ja, hey, ja, hey, hey, ja, 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 home, ja, 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 home content. And here are your children who are for you the one source you have been counting on, even if he goes and cheats, and now they are not there. So you're scared right now, and when you think it is going to be this way for the rest of your life, you're going to feel totally depressed. Exercise, seeing things from somebody else's point of view. How much does your wife respect you? If you don't feel respected, what is possible? And your wife doesn't respect you, who does respect you? And what did your wife do? Is there anything she did to make sure they don't respect you? And until she owns that, she's not going to change. I know you weren't doing it consciously, but subconsciously, what needs were you meeting by getting depressed? Or it could have meant for him it wasn't the right time because he hadn't done enough to be respected enough that he would be able to have children that he would feel good about loving. Or it could have meant for him it wasn't the right time because he hadn't done enough to be respected enough that he would be able to have children that he would feel good about loving. That he would be able to have children that he would feel good about loving. Or it could have meant for him it wasn't the right time because he hadn't done enough to be respected enough that he would be able to have children that he would feel good about loving. Turnaround technique. I'm sure that there are times where he didn't want them around. He didn't even know them. They weren't born yet. Does he love them now? They seem to think that, so I would guess that he does. Evidence procedure, changing the time frame. Does he love them now? They seem to think that, so I would guess that he does. There's a third level of love that you are capable of, and my belief is what you are as a soul, because I've been watching you as closely as I can while I'm trying to serve everybody using you as an example, hypnotic evidence. Because anytime you withhold love, the pain you create is for you more than anybody else. The only thing that gives you pain is the love you won't express. Behavior is not the person. My prayer is for them to find those human qualities. You're missing generosity, you're missing benevolence, you're missing fun, you're missing laughter, you're missing all those things that if you had them, you would own his soul. Then you would feel alive around you and you would too. You're missing generosity, you're missing benevolence, you're missing fun, you're missing laughter. You're missing all those things that if you had them, you would own his soul. Then he would feel alive and around you, and you would too. Do you see how you have been meeting your needs at the expense of your husband and your children? And the pain you are feeling is you can't punish him without punishing whom? Because you are not a mean person. You are a love, but you have not been loving. Do you believe in God? What do you think God wants us to do or be with our lives? Punish people? I guess happy too. Have you had an experience like that earlier in your life with him? When the focus is on him, pleasing him, and getting love, I wonder what that would make him feel towards you. Would he know the punishment was over? Or would you need to tell him that also? Pointing fingers never makes love show up. And at the end of those 90 days, you leave knowing that you are a giver and not a taker in this relationship. People break morals, they break rules to meet their needs. Maybe you forgive you too for creating an environment like that. Maybe you forgive you too for creating an environment like that. I don't support it, but I know why, and so do you. All hurt is an extension of fear. Anybody trapped, going for significance called respect, is going to be one unhappy man, and he is just like you. You're missing understanding, you're missing benevolence, you are listening unconditional love, and which is what you're made for. You're missing fun, you're missing laughter, and you're missing generosity. You're missing all those things that if you have them, you would own his soul. Because he loves you, then he would feel alive around you, and you would too. But that is scary, because what if you start to do that and then he doesn't trust you, and you have been that way, and then you have been the way you've been, and he is afraid you're going to take it away. Where you are living is what's depressing you. Storytelling, the Dalai Lama. It doesn't mean you let them hurt you, it just means you love them even if they do. Even if they do. I've been a total whore at times. My center of gravity, I think I know where it is, and that's why my life is as happy as it is, because I give my love. I don't have to have somebody do something to do that. I am capable of being an idiot at moments, but that's not where I live now. Where you are living is what's depressing you. Where you are living is focus on yourself, focused on what you're not getting. As long as you're focused on what you're not getting, you feel depressed. Isn't that what she did? All the things I value, I am not getting. Not what I'm not giving, but how can I give it? And I am not talking to you for this long just to talk to you, because if I was, I wouldn't take this much time. How many of you understand the value of this lesson? How many of you found this personally something that you can relate to in some way? So now the question is, does it make sense to you? Do you see how you have been meeting the needs at the expense of your husband and your children? Even though you're not a selfish person, can you see how this behavior has just been about you? Can you see that? Then what are you going to do? You gotta stop punishing. You gotta stop punishing him. Give her a hand for that level of honesty. That's it. I honor you, and we all honor you for this level of honesty. And the pain you're feeling about this, you can't punish him without punishing whom? Because you're not a mean person. You are a love, but you have not been loving. So you can beat yourself up for a moment or two, but then it's time to let go of that, because beating yourself up will just be a way to connect with yourself again, feeling sorry for yourself at something hand. Beating yourself up puts all the focus back on you. So I understand that you have those tears and honor that you have gotten the truth right now, but you gotta get out of yourself and start thinking, what can I do that he would never expect, that would fuck with his head, that would shock him, that would make him think, is this the same woman? When was the last time you gave him a blowy? Well, that changed a few people's states. Just 2 words. How many of you felt an immediate state change with those 2 words? Don't tell me language can't change human emotion. What's the answer? Now, did you ever give him a blowy and you enjoyed it? You have a kid in the room. Get the kid out of the room. Is this your 7-year-old that's in the room? So since you don't get enough love from your kids, you gotta get another one. She just turned 18 and she loves you. Isn't that a miracle? She loves you because you love her even though you don't have to. You're not her mother, but you love her like your mother. You unconditionally love her. What if she said to you, you're a bitch? Would you still love her? Are you sure? That's good. That punishing thing was really built into you, isn't it? I told you I knew you were love. That's why I stayed with you so long, because if I really thought you were selfish and you were just standing up for significance, I would have picked somebody else. So you managed to pick people who are safe to love, don't you, honey? And forward we go, ya hey ya home, ya hey ya hey. I told you I know you were loved. That's why I stayed with you for so long. Because if I really thought you were selfish and you were just standing up for significance, I would have picked somebody else. So you managed to pick people who are safe to love, don't you, honey? People who you are certain that when they love you, they won't reject you, because you don't have to love them, but your children aren't quite as safe and your husband is the least safe one. Do you believe in God? What do you think God wants us to do or to be with our lives? Punish people? He wants us to love and contribute to those who meet our needs, to our neighbor. Does that include our husband? What does God think about blowjobs? It doesn't say. It doesn't say. I noticed that. When you give your husband a blowy, how does he feel? I'm sure he likes it. How do you know? I know. Do you think it feels greater than respect? What if he felt respected and had a blow you? He'd be real happy. What would you be? I guess happy too, to see him happy. Have you had an experience like that earlier in your life with him? In the very beginning. Do you remember making him happy and you were really focused on him? I am picking blowjob, by the way, because it is so socially unacceptable to have this discussion. And secondly, in this case, the focus would have to be on him instead of you, whereas intercourse, we could clearly have the focus on you and on him. And you could actually have a blowjob where you are focused on him, but it's more likely that the focus on you and him, but it's more likely that the focus would be on him initially. And if you can focus on him and pleasing him and getting love, I wonder what that would make him feel towards you. Now, if I was talking to him, I would be having a different conversation and I would be making him responsible for the joy and pleasure of your life, but he's not here, so I can only talk to you. Do you follow me? So would there anything that would shock him more than you respecting him and giving him a blowjob? Would he know the punishment was over? Or would you need to tell him that also? He doesn't need words. That's right, because words people usually don't follow through on, but actions demonstrate more than words for most people. So what's going to make you happy? And I think that we all need to do it to honor you for your total honesty and vulnerability. One thing we gotta do to break this pattern of sadness and depression, because it would be very easy for you to leave here and beat yourself up, because now if you weren't depressed before, now you could really be depressed because I created all of this. But the truth is, it takes two to tango, doesn't it? If her husband was here, I can find out all that he's done that hasn't served you, and you already know all of that stuff, so that wouldn't serve anyways. Pointing fingers never makes love show up. You can be right or you can be in love. And love is clearly something you deserve and want, and he clearly wants it too. Now he's going to be scared. You start being scared, you start being happy, scares the hell out of him. His fear will be, will this last? This won't last, it never has. His fear will be, she is sucking me in so she can punish me again. He may not know this consciously, so you may start doing the right things and not get rewarded. But if you do it for the reward, you're not doing it for the right reason. You're doing it for the wrong reason. If you can love him even when he doesn't seem to be loving back, if you can give to him, if you can enter a place in your soul where the gift is your love and it's genuine and it's not a trait, you will eventually penetrate him. Because that every soul in this room is looking for is deeper love. Even if they got great love, they want more. A love that makes them feel like they are more than enough. And if we trade for it or demand it or measure it, we feel that inside. So all the pain you really had is the love you withheld. And I understand why you punished him, because you felt hurt. But that's not your job. So I know the heart you have. And that's why I've taken so much time here. And you are willing to give it when it's safe. Like to a stranger. It's safe because you're not asking anything and you are loving them. So of course they feel loved. Of course they reciprocate. So here's your future. More of your past and depression. Or you got to go for unsafe love and you can start feeling alive. You won't be so quiet, slow and shut down. A light will start to shine out of you when you can step into the uncertainty with the faith that love is guiding you, God is guiding you, and doesn't matter if I give love in this moment, even if it's not returned. I know I am living what God made me for, and I know the more I do, it's only going to get bigger sooner or later. And if it isn't with this man, and he is so hurt and shut down and won't love me, then my children will see my real self. Not a bitter woman, but a lover. And they know I am. And maybe we go apart to different places. Then I attract somebody who is attracted to love. But right now I can't attract that because I live in a world of such pain because I'm focused on me. But the most powerful thing that you got to change now is your physiology. Because you locked all of this into postures and breath and movements. And as long as you do that, no matter what you focus on, you are going to go back here because this is her base. If you want more happiness, you got to create a more happiness base. It is like building a muscle. In the beginning, it's really hard. It will be hard for her to stay happy because she has been literally training herself, conditioning herself to behave in a certain way. So you have to train your mind and emotions. You have to train yourself to go back to your true self. The easiest way to do that is to go back to that woman who loves strangers the way you do, with people closer to you. He's using the resources she has already got and applying them in another area. And your project is your husband. How much certainty does he have that you are going to be happy and alive when he comes home, 0 to 10? What would you say to me? If I ask him, how much variety is he going to experience with you? Surprise, alignment, triggers. 0 to 10, what would he say to me? If I ask, how significant does she make me? How significant do you feel by her on a 0 to 10? His definition of significance is the word respect, right? How much love, unconditional love. Not love that's traded. Not love that's me if I do things your way. How much unconditional love, not punishment love. That's not love, that's a trade. 0 to 10, what would you say to me? How much are you growing together? 0 to 10. How much contribution is he able to give to you that you take in and appreciate? Now, you know why your relationship is the way it is. Now, here's the easy way to change it. Strategize all of the way he meets his needs and make him crazy, not you. And that joy is that. And try that for 90 days. If I can honestly say I have given him a 10 of certainty that he is appreciated, I have given him a 10 of variety, he didn't know what the hell was going to happen. Coming home to that woman. Coming home to a woman, man, a girl, you never know. Look at how much even that lights you up. You know what he needs because when you stepped into his body, you knew that you do that for 90 days. If he isn't worshipping you, get out. But you have never done that, or at least not in years or decades. Does that seem fair? And you don't leave. You're going to leave knowing you are a giver, not a taker in this relationship. But I can tell you one thing. If you really do that, he won't leave. He won't let you leave. He follows you, and you like to be followed. Now, what you really need is to be a girl again. Because you're so tight and shut down, you are like a man. Got these objectives, trading, making it happen, pissed off when it doesn't. And then you gotta be a girl with strangers. That's where your beauty shows up. You can't be certain and be feminine. You can feel certain, but you can't be certain, because there's nothing certain about feminine energy. Feminine energy is constantly changing. Feminine energy needs praise. And you're not going to get much praise from your husband because you have been punishing. So what the hell can he praise? He's not going to praise for a little while because he'll be scared. Maybe you will. If you do something that really shocks him, where you really feel loved and it's real, you'll find some praise coming out of him. Ole and Suzanne. What is she really calling for? What is she sticking it? When she's sticking it to you and taking enjoyment in it, what is she really hoping for? I'm not sure. If you knew, would it change things? How would she get your attention when she really wants it? So what she needs is his attention. This is her filter to feeling loved and meeting her needs. The misunderstanding pattern is getting in the way, and his pattern of shutting down and not getting the lesson, and her pattern of being punitive is getting in the way. That is definitely one way. She's scared. There are certain principles that are very important, I think, in a relationship. One is, do they feel like your wife is? We all have masculine and feminine energy. Just like you are right or left-handed, we tend to have a preference, often that we are born with, a strength. Is she more masculine or feminine at her core? I don't mean can she do anything that a man can do. I'm not questioning that. I mean when she isn't under pressure. She has not proven anything. She feels totally happy. She doesn't tend to be fully focused on trying to control everything, or does she enjoy? Can I give you a principle for femininity that would be useful? Here is when feminine energy needs attention. All the fucking time. Repeat after me. They need it all the time. If we, as men, said we need attention all the time, we'd be offended. So if you don't give someone attention one way, they will find a way that works. And boy, this one works. See, look how she's grinning. We think you have a problem. She thinks she has a game. You say that this is really horrible. What she's saying, I know how to get his attention. Listen, if you don't give her happy attention, she will take unhappy attention. Module 2, Dana and Greg. We are already at page 26. We are going forward. We are making it happen. Yes. It is so easy. 8 or 7. An early morning stare. Yeah-hey-ya-ho. Drinking my cacao. It is so easy. Oh, yeah-hey-ya-ho. Eating the leaves of the medicinal plants for breakfast, Yahweh. Oh yeah, yeah, resting my eyes for just 2 minutes as I'm sipping in my cacao, Yahweh, Yahoo, may I, may Yahoo. Hey, hey, yeah, Yahoo, may I, may Yahoo. Module 2, Dana and Greg, word choice. I am here to assist you. Making this part that creates this behavior, breathing like you are grateful. This requires a higher level of trust, because trust and faith is how you change things you were never able to change. Thinking this part to give him this deeper intent. Once that is handled, the deeper intent shows up. One part of this is his early development made a decision that his intent was to be protected. But the highest intent would be to know and discover God. Freedom and love and patricia. Alright, we take a break.